NBA Finals, Game 1 in the books. Warriors rolled. Jayar Jackson laughing.
What's going on with this little
laughing.
Ben Mankett's comment strand of sexiness hanging down in my head?
You could try. I mean, you gotta flip it.
I mean,
flip it back.
We've got 3 very impressive mains going on.
Yeah, we have.
No, you don't want to look at this.
Except I don't hide mine behind a hat. I complimented Jason the other day. I said, your hair looks good longer. He's like, nah,
No,
can't
dude,
deal with it in the morning.
Again, here's the problem. It gets very bulbous, and the more bulbous it gets, unfortunately, it gets very, it's too much.
I heard bulbous was in.
Never thought in my life I would ever hear the word bulbous being used.
It's like Bulbasaur, the Pokemon. So, unfortunately, because it seems like if there's a blowout in any sense,
they're gonna win it all.
No, I was gonna say, I mean, LeBron's 1-7 in Game 1s. Yes, the Warriors look good. But in terms of actual, not just the takeaways, immediately once the blowout happened, it just transformed to Rihanna and KD is more interesting than the Cavs versus the Warriors. And by the fourth quarter, they were actually right. I would say in the third quarter, you kept thinking to yourself, maybe.
Right.
It's not over until it's over, and then it was a 20-point blowout. What do you guys see? What do you like from it? Kevin Durant, obviously a lot of open dunks, transition defense. There was a lot being thrown around. What were your
Well, this is the thing. It's just because Game 1 ended up in a blowout doesn't mean it wasn't entertaining. So, and outside of the KD, Rihanna stuff, I get frustrated with this need to try and make, even them saying, I think Silver before did like a press conference with the media,
right.
The media availability about a wide range of things. And one of the questions was, these playoffs have been the most boring ever, what are you gonna do about it? And I liked his answer, and he said, "Oh, this is real life. This isn't scripted. This isn't a sitcom. So I'm not sure what you want me to do about it. But maybe if guys play a certain way, or maybe if Pachulia doesn't stick his foot under the best player on the Spurs, then maybe that whole thing changes. So what do you want me to do about that? And so if you don't like basketball, then that's okay. I mean, there's been blowouts in Super Bowls, there's been close Super Bowls, there have been Super Bowls with drama and all that stuff, but people don't tend to say, oh, football is the worst sport ever. I can't believe that every game doesn't end in overtime. Who cares? Calm down.
Unless it's soccer, Jayar, where every game ends in 1-1 draws, according to everyone in America, or no one scores.
No, that's just
right.
That's just
but soccer
the most
doesn't
likely outcome.
But soccer is
a draw. I'm just saying.
Soccer, football is the biggest sport in the world.
It's a good sport.
And they're not trying to change the rules so that scores end up being 24-21.
Yeah.
They're not changing it. They're like, either you like it or you don't. Enough people like it. Plenty of people like basketball. If you don't like that basketball is what it is, don't watch.
Ben Mank's been trying to change the soccer rules for a long, long time now.
Very much so.
He's the only one.
I'm in complete agreement with Jay on this. I mean, of course, you mentioned it there, Jason. LeBron James 1-7 in Game 1. And still, I looked today and I think I found like 6 or 7 headlines that basically just already had the Golden State Warriors carved into. Would you say is it a trophy ball?
Stone,
whatever it is.
in stone, maybe.
Yeah,
KD's
right in the
already got
wrongs.
the MVP.
KD's already got the MVP. Yeah, so, and it's like, of course this was expected. This is what we thought was going to happen. They started the game, as I keep saying, and we did our analysis, when they start at that high tempo, unless you match them every step of the way, they're going to grow in confidence. And I thought they did that as well. And yes, in my opinion, they look great. And it's not surprising to anyone, but I can't believe that still, after witnessing LeBron James struggling in Game 1 of every single series almost, apart from one, people still just use this as a means to justify that the Golden State Warriors are going to run away with it. It's stupidity. Why do they still do this?
I agree with you there. I think even more importantly, not more importantly, I'm sorry, but when the commentators make it seem like it's more important, the pivotal Game 2, it's a must-win for the Cavs.
Yeah.
Jared, it's an NBA Finals. Jared, it's an NBA Finals. I thought every game was a must-win, but I guess
the way
games 3 and 4 could just, they're tossing.
It all depends on the way it works. Because I hate terms like that's a playoff foul. And as the playoffs, don't call that foul, all that stuff. I think Mark Jackson said it at one point. He goes, LeBron got hacked all across his arms. I said, oh, this is the playoffs. So in the regular season, we call fouls. In the playoffs, we don't. So again, everything's gonna shift. Watch, the officials let a lot of things go in this game, both ways.
Yeah,
and they called it evenly. Actually, they did a good job with the even nature, they called it, of calling nothing. So the next game is gonna be super tight, and everyone's gonna complain about that.
I agree.
It's just the ebb and flow of how this is gonna go. Now that is some control of the NBA is how they call the games, and maybe the game is gonna be closer because of all that. But there's just let's play the rest of the games. I'm sure the players don't think of it this way, or else they'd be just as foolish as fans. It's game 2 coming up, and it's also up in Oakland. And you know what's supposed to happen? According to the way the seeding works, Golden State Warriors is supposed to win the first 2 games.
The Cavs are supposed to win the next 2 games.
The Cavs supposed to win the next 2 games, and then you go back and forth. Every game is supposed to end a 7-game series with the home team winning the 7th game. That's the point. That's the home court advantage.
Yeah, that's
when we're surprised that the home team wins with that level of excitement and energy that went in that whole stadium, let's calm down. It's what is supposed to happen.
So.
And if it didn't, they'd go, what's wrong with the Warriors? Oh my God, blowout.
Kevin Durant, they won every game up till that. There's still a game that LeBron James can beat them.
It's so frustrating. And they're gonna go sweep of the Cavs, they're gonna sweep the Warriors in 4.
I found that in any sport that has a 7-game series, there is no value of the Twitter in the first quarter of the first game of a 7-game series, because it's, I mean, some of them just, even if you try to read into them, and some of the things like I was trying to say on Twitter was, for one, like people keep talking about Klay Thompson's offensive disappearance.
Yeah.
And what they are not doing, except for Chauncey Billups, who I think is easily one of the brightest guys on any of the panels when they put them together, not just because he played at an elite level, but because he says like, it's not blanket statements, he's talking about what's obvious but gets overlooked. Klay Thompson is an unbelievably good defender. He is the one that is tasked to guard Kyrie Irving, and he did a good job of it yesterday. But anyone wants to, well, the Warriors 6 of what, 28 between Draymond and Klay, it should have been a 40-point blowout. Right, well, if Klay and Draymond went, let's say, 15 to 28, that doesn't mean Kevin Durant's running wide open to the rim.
There's only so many shots.
And then, by the way, CJ McCollum just decided to light the internet on fire like halfway through the game by saying, man, Klay's gonna get his ring. He sent out this tweet, it's number 6. This is because it's not as important as the Rihanna KD stuff, but we're gonna get to that, I promise, at the very end of the clip. So element number 6, in terms of some of the Twitter reaction, Klay gonna get another ring and find his own squad, so they better enjoy him while he's there. And everyone's like, oh, is Klay going to the Blazers? No, what CJ McCollum is saying there is he does more than just shoot. And people have to realize that.
And also, well, this is the thing. When KD came in, I was trying to figure out, I said, who is going to lose not their role, but lose their level of influence?
Klay.
And throughout the season, it changed. I remember at the beginning when he first came in, before he got injured, it was Steph. Right. Steph wasn't shooting as much, Steph wasn't scoring as much. And people said, oh, Steph, the former MVP, suddenly can't play basketball. It's like, listen, man, there's another superstar in the building. And he gets touches, and then when he gets going, you know what the other guys do? They give him the ball because this is a team sport.
So additionally, as you just saw some of the funny reaction on Twitter in regards to the game 1 of the NBA Finals, the most hot button topic of the day is KD and Rihanna, because Rihanna was front and center, or I should say sideline and center. She brought back the dab. I think that's very important, just so we all know. She is responsible for bringing it back. I stand with Rihanna. I love Rihanna. Just making that note.
Hey, I'm on Team Van Gundy. Go Rihanna.
Did you hear what he said?
Yeah, he said, who cares about that play? Rihanna just walked in front of me.
Yeah, that was amazing. That was amazing.
Whoever was broadcasting it goes, you stick to the game, Jeff. Can't be distracted by that.
He goes, yeah, that was a great play.
But so here was KD and Steph Curry in the press conference after, when they asked Kevin Durant after he hit like a dagger 3, did you stare at Rihanna? And that was this video.
Was that or do you remember that? Or?
I don't even remember that.
Well, just to let you know, social media is buzzing about it. Yes.
Don't get in that trap.
Yeah.
Cool. Have fun with that.
I am falling for that trap, man.
But he said, I don't remember that, because the reporter asked him. So then, what was going on? Did you look at Rihanna? He goes, and Steph leaned back like, really? You gonna answer this right now?
And he goes, don't fall for that trap.
He goes, don't fall for that trap. And he goes, I don't remember it. He said, I don't remember that. He said,
you guys have fun with that.
You'll have fun with that. Which means he did.
Yeah. So, buy or sell him. Did he look at Rihanna? Does he heart Rihanna like we do?
I think it's inhumane to not heart Rihanna like we do. I just think there's a certain thing that is a certain level of sexiness that just follows that woman wherever she goes.
It does, and whether or not she's rooting for or against you if you're an NBA player, of course, and then probably even more so you look at her, you're like, yep, you see that?
Yeah, that's so true.
There is an important pecking order.
The sexy woman who's against you, you look at her first.
Yeah, and it's like, there used to be a group of girls that used to come to one of our rival teams that we used to play against, and I swear to God, we'd all up our game just so that we could like try to at one point have that game-winning goal, or at least, I mean, in soccer, so 1 goal out of the whole thing, and then turn around at the end and just be like, See what you could have had. But that was like in a crowd of 20 people. I'd imagine it's
Did
a
you
lot more
dab on them
emphasized.
too?
No, dabbing was not around at that point, Jason, as Jason goes into his old joke games in the 1980s.
See, that's the funniest part about you bringing up that. It's the third time this week that you're going to say you're going to make the old joke about, and I didn't do it.
Maybe I'm approaching a certain age, Jason. I'm getting a little bit sensitive towards my
When
age.
you least expect it, I'm going to bring it back on you. Just drop it back. All right, comment below, like, favorite, subscribe. Twitter, Jackson, Maxwell, Rubin. We'll see you next time.